Hello and welcome. I'm Chanel Childs with ChanelChilds.net. And of course, we meet here every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And today, what I wanted to talk to you about is believing in your home-based business and seeing the end result. Now, number one, in our home-based business, in many cases, many of us have been taught on a subconscious level to really get popcorn results, right? And if we're not getting instant results, hello, Tyra, and welcome. I'm so grateful that you're here. Today, what we're talking about is believing in your home-based business and getting results in your home-based business, right? Or seeing the end result. Now, as home-based business owners, in many cases, you and I have probably looked at our business and not seen instant results and thought, you know what, I'm failing. You know what, I'm not doing well, right? And one of the key things that I want you to recognize, oh, good morning, Tyra, so grateful you're here. One of the key things that I want to help you to recognize is the fact that a lot of times in your home-based business, many of us are not going to see instant results, right? And see, because many people don't see instant results, what it does is it stops most people from taking action. Right? Because they don't see that they have, the kind of results that they want. Maybe they're posting on social media and there's not many people there, right? Sorry, there's a bug by me, but a lot of times they post on social media, there's not really anyone liking it, or there's, they don't have necessarily the amount of people that they're bringing into their business that they wanted to. They haven't reached their income goal, and they have all these doubts, and they're just thinking, you know what, this thing's not working. I've blogged like 100 blogs and no one's joining my business, or I've done this or I've done that. But one of the things I want to encourage you with today is the fact that in the home-based business industry, there's not popcorn results, right? Like sometimes you may be able to do something, take a specific action and get an instant result. But for most people, this business takes a little bit of time, right? And the people who seem to be getting instant results, it didn't happen overnight, right? There's one thing that Tony Robbins says, which is something along the lines of, you'll be recognized in public for what you do in private, right? So the people that you see that appear to be getting instant results probably didn't necessarily just one day wake up and get these great results. It was that they actually took some action behind the scenes when no one else was looking, when no one else knew that they were studying and growing and expanding their mind and their awareness, right? So it appears that they just got this instant success, but in reality, they actually had to do some work to get there, right? So a lot of times in our home-based business, if you and I don't see ourselves with instant results immediately right away, we just think that, you know what, I'm just going to quit. Right? And it's the best way I can describe this is a story that Napoleon Hill tells in his famous book, Think and Grow Rich. It's about a gold miner in Colorado who actually was mining for gold. This guy was looking for gold. He had a gold mining machine. When he didn't find gold, when he didn't get popcorn results, he went and said, you know what? I quit. He went and sold his gold digging machine to a local junkyard man. Now, this local junkyard man knew a little bit more about gold mining than this guy did. So he took the junkyard man took the gold mining machine and went out and started mining for gold. And guess what? He hit the gold, and he realized that the guy who sold him the machine was actually 3 feet from gold, right? Think about how many home-based business owners quit just 3 feet from gold because they don't see their instant result. They don't get it right away, so they just decide to quit. Well, the number one key is to recognize that each and every person in the home-based business industry has to go through that test, right? We've got to pass some sort of persistence test, right? To prove are we really in it to win it? Are we really going to do whatever it takes? And most people don't do whatever it takes, right? That's why most people stay where they're at. But you see, you and I have to be different in our home-based business. We have to decide to believe that if anybody can do this thing, we can do it, right? If there's someone else out there in your company or in your business, you got to recognize that you can do it too. But it takes some time, and you got to recognize that things aren't going to necessarily happen right away. So one of the things that one of my mentors, Stephen R. Covey, actually encourages you and I to do is to keep the end in mind, right? Being able to see what it is that you want, right? And if you don't want it bad enough, build a stronger fire, under your desires, what Napoleon Hill says, right? So you got to, number one, be able to see what it is that you want, right? Because when you have strong goals, they'll pull you through. So you got to begin to, number one, let go of your results today, right? Let go of the results that you're seeing today, because a lot of times you may not see instant results. And most of the time, guess what? Most of the time what happens in your home-based business is that the kind of results that you thought you were getting may not happen that you thought that you were going to get. They're probably not going to happen the way that you imagine them, right? A lot of times what happens is it starts to happen in ways that maybe you didn't expect, right? I mean, if you start to look at your life and the way that things have started to unfold over time, you'll probably start start to realize that most of the things that have happened, probably all of the things that have happened, didn't necessarily happen the way that you planned, right? You like probably mapped out this way that you thought your life was supposed to be. You're like, by this age, I'm going to be here and this is what's going to happen. And then when you get to that age, maybe you did reach that goal or reach that dream, but it probably didn't unfold the way that you thought it would, right? We as humans always think that we have this like great plan mapped out, but life always has a way of surprising us and saying, you know what, look here. I have something totally different for you. Maybe you got to that goal, but the goal probably didn't get reached the way that you thought it was going to get reached in the time period that you thought that it was going to get reached in, right? So we've got to be willing to open our awareness and expand our mind enough to recognize that maybe we don't have instant results, but we got to recognize that you don't know if you're 3 feet from gold, right? So just because you don't have the kind of results that you want today, don't let that stop you from taking action. Right? Don't let that be a quitting point where you say, you know what, this thing's not working, I'm going to quit, right? Because you and I cannot afford to either A, stay where we're at, or B, go back to where we were, right? We've got to be willing to believe and see beyond where we're at, because I believe that when you can see beyond where you're at, you'll start to get where you're going, and things may not unfold the way that you thought that they would, right? We don't want to be the person who's 3 feet from gold and lays down the towel and says, I'm done. You want to press through no matter what results you have on the outside. You want to be able to see what it is that you want, regardless of what's happening in the outside world, right? Because a lot of times I think that when we are going through this like persistence test, we're developing our character. We're learning, we're growing, right? We're starting to see what works and what doesn't work. We can tweak a few things. Now, I'm not saying if you're not doing well in your business to not like look at what maybe you can change. But what I'm saying is don't quit your business because you don't have the kind of results that you wanted right away. You know, I've mentioned this a lot because it's one of my favorite things that Robert Kiyosaki teaches in his famous audio, you know, building or your network. What did he call it? It's called, I believe it's called Building Your Business of the 21st Century. And in it, he actually recommends that home-based business owners actually stick with their business for at least 5 years. Because he knows, and this is the man who wrote the Rich Dad Poor Dad books. This is a man who has at least, you know, like I believe he has like $2 million coming in regardless of if he works or not. Now, this is a very highly successful man. Now, of course, see our income disclaimer at www.empowernetwork.com/income because there's no guarantee you're going to earn any money from watching this Periscope. But do understand that Robert Kiyosaki, recommends that you and I stick with our business for at least 5 years. And this is a highly successful man. Because why does he tell us to do that? Because he knows that in your home-based business, that 9 times out of 10, it's going to take you some time to get the kind of results that you want. He knows that you need to stick with it for at least 5 years in order to win, right? Some people reach success a lot sooner, but if we really want to reach our next level in our business, we've got to, number one, see the end result, keep that in mind, and number two, be willing to go no matter what our results are. Regardless of if we're winning or not, we want to pull through. So when you start to get discouraged and you're like, you know what, I don't have the kind of results that I want, I'm not seeing this instant success, stop yourself and go and visualize what it is that you want. See your vision. Know what it is that you want. When you can see that vision, you let go of what's happening today and you say, this is where I'm going. And it doesn't matter how I'm getting there because a lot of times things don't happen the way that we want them to. And a lot of people quit just 3 feet from gold because they didn't get the instant results. They didn't have people on social media liking and commenting on their stuff. Well, that doesn't mean anything. You know, like one of my mentors, Tracy Walker, who's actually $1 million earner in her current business, she says that means nothing. The amount of likes that you get really is not a clear indication of who saw it. You may think that tells the whole story, but it doesn't, right? You never know who's watching you. And like I said before, things may be happening in a way that you didn't expect them to happen. Maybe you thought that you had to have all of this success today and you had to have all these people liking on your Facebook post or on your other social media post and commenting. And if people aren't doing that, then you failed. But the key is to recognize that as long as you're taking action and you're adding value to the lives of others, you never know who's watching you. You never know what's unfolding and bubbling up behind the scenes. Stick to your vision. Be willing to see beyond where you're at. Stick to what it is that you want. Let go of what's happening today and start to visualize where you're going tomorrow. Now, I hope this moves you forward in the way of your dreams. Thank you so much for watching. Before I let you go, don't forget to go to ChanelChilds.net for more golden nuggets. And also, don't forget to, number one, connect with me on Facebook because I would love to connect with you. Send me a private message. Add me as a friend, right? I would love to connect with you there. I'm Chanel Childs. We meet here every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So we'll see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. Bye for now.